Van Shell in the new COVID times. This is how we do swearing-in ceremonies. But this is going to work out just great, so good seeing you all here again tonight. This is one of the things that we enjoy doing is when we have new hires or promotions, because Ocean Township, Chief will tell you, we go through this, and himself, the guys doing the hiring, they get maybe 100 applicants every time they post a job opening. So it's a very desirable department to work in. It's a very good department to work in. It's a very difficult one to get hired. So congratulations to the new hires. So let's hear it for those guys. Good job. And then tonight also, several guys went through the promotion process, which is another rigorous process and very difficult, very competitive. And it's something that these guys work really, really hard at. So we want to congratulate them as well. We're going to get to those guys. But congratulations to everybody being promoted tonight as well. So, Chief, why don't we start with the new hires? Tell us about our new recruits. What do we have here tonight?
Okay, good evening, everybody. The weather held up. This is our first official ever outdoor Ocean Township police swearing in. Another mark for us, for sure. So our first officer to be sworn in tonight is Officer Brett Blank. Brett's a resident of Point Pleasant. He's got his bachelor's degree from Marist College. He graduated the Cape May Police Academy, and he has since originally worked for the Palisades Parkway Police before coming to Ocean Township. Brett was officially hired March earlier this year, and is now getting to have his official ceremonial swearing in. So Brett, come on up. You have somebody to hold the Bible for you? A relative, friend, a girlfriend?
We have somebody to go. Yeah, we are.
You can call anybody you want. All right, Mayor.
Okay. I'm going to have you right here, Brett. We're going to face the camera. Good numbers. They're not even there. Imagine everybody even Folks, we're going to just distance a little bit, just have you stay right about here. We're not that Brett can reach in those long arms. I think he'll be all right. Mom and sis, we got everybody here? The whole family? Okay, well, congratulations. Brett, raise your left hand. Repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Brett Blank,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and of the state of New Jersey.
and of the state of New Jersey,
I will bear true faith and allegiance
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the same
to the same
And to the governments
and to the governments
established in the United States
and to the governments established in the United States
and in this state,
and in this state,
under the authority of the people.
under the authority of the people.
I do further solemnly swear
I do further solemnly swear
I will faithfully,
that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly
and justly
perform all the duties
perform all the duties
of the position of police officer
of the position of police officer
for the Township of Ocean Police Department,
for the Township of Ocean Police Department,
according to the best of my abilities,
according to the best of my abilities.
so help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Chief's going to hand me another one. Okay. By the end of this ceremony, I expect everybody to memorize the oath. We're going to practice on each other after this is over. All right, Chief, who's our next recruit?
Okay, our next new officer, also hired in March of this year, is Officer Jacob Sapko. Jacob is a resident of Seaside Park. He holds a bachelor's degree from Rutgers, attended the Ocean County Police Academy, and he comes to us from North Hanover PD, where he was an officer there just under a year. Jake?
Yeah, my dad's coming up.
All right, good deal.
Thanks, Chief. Got it. Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
Stand right here, please. All right, Pop's going to hold the Bible. Okay, so raise your hand, repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Jacob Sapko,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey.
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey.
I will bear true faith and allegiance
I will bear true faith and
to
allegiance
the same
to the same
to the governments established in the United States
and to the governments established in the United States
and in this state
and in this state
under the authority of the people.
under the authority of the people.
I do further solemnly swear
I do further solemnly swear
that I will faithfully,
impartially, and justly
perform all the duties
perform all the duties
of the position of police officer
of the position of police officer
for the Township of Ocean Police Department
for the Township of Ocean Police Department
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank
While we're waiting, joining me tonight, we have Councilman Robert Chara, Councilman Dave Fisher, Councilwoman Marge Donlin, and Deputy Mayor John Napolitani joining us. Thank you. Okay, our next officer to be sworn in this evening was hired in April of this year. Officer Samantha Connors, come on up. Samantha's a resident of Jackson, holds a bachelor's degree from Iona College, graduate of the Ocean County Police Academy, and she comes to us from the Ocean County Sheriff's Department, where we served there just under a year. So we welcome Samantha. Okay. Mom and Dad coming up? Great. All right, Samantha, you're going to face the cameras this way. Yep. Okay. Yeah. She's actually doing it right. She's actually putting the right hand down. So for TV, it'll be reversed. No, it's okay. Okay, so that's fine. Raise your hand and repeat after me. State your name. I
Samantha Connors,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United
and
States
the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same
and to the governments established in the United States
and to the governments established in the United States
and in this state
and in this state,
under the authority of the people.
under the authority of the people.
I do further solemnly swear
I do further solemnly swear
I will faithfully,
impartially,
and justly
and justly
perform all the duties
perform all the duties
of the position of police officer
of the position of police officer
for the Township of Ocean Police Department
for the Township of Ocean Police Department
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations. Welcome aboard. Okay, I think that concludes our new swearing. Oh, we have one more? Awesome. We're getting ready to go for a pizza party, but we're going to do another one. Another new swearing. Oh, okay. All right, Chief, I'll let you take the...
All right, our next new officer is Dominic Padone. Officer Padone, come on up. Dominic's a resident of Middletown. Has a bachelor's degree from Kane University. Graduate of the Monmouth County Police Academy alternate route program this year, and that was a rough class because they stopped, and we weren't able to get Dominic until probably the middle of July, and that's when Dominic officially started and is still currently finishing up his training. Dominic, if somebody.
I'm going to settle a little bit.
Yeah. We're driving Tommy crazy. We're moving over here. You're sliding down. Mom and Dad gonna hold? Okay. Raise your hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Dominic Padone,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
that I bear true faith and allegiance to the same
and I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same
and to the governments established in the United States
and to the governments established in the United States
and in this state
and in this state
under the authority of the people.
under the authority of the people.
I do further solemnly swear
I do further solemnly swear
I will faithfully,
impartially,
and justly
perform
perform all the duties of the position
all the duties of the position
of police officer
of police
for
officers
the Township of Ocean Police Department,
for the Township of Ocean Police Department,
according to the best of my ability,
according to the best of my abilities.
so help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations. Now the promotions, right, Chief? We're going with the new recruits. Give it up for our new recruits, everybody. Fine bunch indeed. Okay, so we have 2 lieutenants and a captain to promote tonight. Our first lieutenant is Lieutenant Todd Gregory. Come on up, Todd. Todd is a 20-plus year veteran with the Ocean Township Police. Started back in 2000. He became a sergeant in 2009. He has since served as a sergeant in patrol and the Traffic Bureau. And now he's the lieutenant. So come on up here, Todd. Yeah, we're going to have Todd face the camera. Okay. So, repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Todd Gregory,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey.
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey.
I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same
I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same
and to the governments established in the United States
and to the governments established in the United States
and in this state
and in this state,
under the authority of the people.
under the authority of the people.
I do further solemnly swear
I do further solemnly swear
that I will faithfully,
that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly
and justly
perform all the duties
perform all of the duties
of the position of lieutenant
of the position of lieutenant
for the Township of Ocean Police Department
for the Township of Ocean Police Department
according to the best of my ability,
according to the best of my ability.
so help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Okay, Chief. Okay, our next new lieutenant is Lieutenant Mark Delton. Mark is a 15-year veteran with the Ocean Township Police. He became sergeant in 2016, where he served in patrol, and now he is a lieutenant in patrol. So come on up here, Mark, with who you'd like. Okay. State your name, repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Mark Delton,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same
and to the governments established in the United States
and to the government established in the United States
and in this state
and in this state
under the authority of the people.
under the authority of the people.
I do further solemnly swear
I do further solemnly swear
that I will faithfully,
that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly
perform
perform all the duties
of
of the position of lieutenant
the position of lieutenant
for the Township of Ocean Police Department
for the Township of Ocean Police Department
according to the best of my ability,
according to the best of my ability.
so help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations. We have other officers from other departments out there joining us tonight? I see a couple. All right, thank you guys for joining us. Okay, our latest promotion is promotion to captain, and our new captain is Captain Pat Martin. Pat's a 20-year veteran of Ocean Township Police. He became a sergeant in 2013. He served in patrol
until 2016, and then he went into the Detective Bureau and was sergeant there, and now he is captain of patrol. So welcome, Pat.
It's Pat. Oh, he's going to do it right. So try to square up a little more so Tommy gets you all in there. All right, so repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Patrick Martin,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey.
I will bear true faith and allegiance
I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same
to the governments established in the United States
and to the governments established in the United States
and in this state,
and in this state,
under the authority of the people.
under the authority of the people.
I do further solemnly swear
I do further solemnly
I
swear
will faithfully,
I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly
justly
perform all the duties
perform all the duties
of the position of captain
position of captain
for the Township of Ocean Police
for
Department,
the Township of Ocean Police Department
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations. Is that it, Chief? All right, that concludes our swearing-in ceremonies for tonight. Chief, any final words?
Yeah, just that we're going to try to do some pictures here, and then I'll let the council get back to the meeting. But before everybody leaves, we'll try to do one group shot of everybody in the room there. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you all for coming. Give it up for our new folks. Yep.
Live.
All right, so are we,
We're ready.
we're ready? Okay, so let's call the meeting of September 24th, 2020 to order.
Yes.
Vink, have the roll call, please.
Sure. Deputy Mayor Napolitani.
Here.
Council members Achara.
Here.
Donlin.
Here.
Fisher.
Here.
And Mayor Siciliano.
Here, everybody please rise for a pledge of allegiance and remain standing for a moment of silent prayer. Tonight, we're going to remember Frank D'Esposito. I'll say a few words about him when we sit down.
We're set up at home. I guess we will.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, thank you. Notice requirement for the Open Public Meeting Act for this meeting has been satisfied. A copy of the annual notice was sent to the Asbury Park Press, posted in Town Hall, and filed in the office of the municipal clerk on December 30, 2019. There are two exits for anybody that's here. One to my left will take you out to the far parking lot, and one to my right will take you out to that parking lot. People at home, please be on mute until it's time for open public comments. And folks in the audience, please turn your cell phones off. If you need to make a call, kindly go out into the hallway. Before we get started on tonight's meeting, I mentioned that we're going to do a moment of silent prayer for a gentleman that we lost last night, Mr. Frank D'Esposito. Frank was the partner, along with his brother Snooky, Anthony D'Esposito, over at Sunset Farms Market. They've been on Sunset Avenue since 1968. The family's been around. It's an Asbury Park family. Been around many, many years in this area. Longtime supporters of the Township recreation programs. Big time supporter of the Ocean Wrestling program for many, many years was Frank. And he pretty much, him and Snooky, employed many, many of the landscapers and the landscape architectures that you'll see today have gone through those doors, and they received an education there that they couldn't get at any university, I promise you that. Very colorful, very great guys though, hard workers. They really worked them hard, but they also took care of their people, and they were very sincerely and genuinely interested in any of their workers, even folks that had left them for 10, 20, 30 years. I know they showed so much kindness to my brother Randy, who started there when he was probably 13 years old, worked for them, and then, right up to his passing, they were just always, everything about Randy. But they felt that way about all their employees. They really, really cared for them in a special way. So we're missing Frank tonight, and so is his family. He leaves behind Barbara, his two boys, Mark and Frankie, and his brother Snooky, and many nieces and nephews. So we're missing Frank tonight, so just keep him in your thoughts and your hearts.
3 boys. Mayor.
3 boys, and Matt. Yeah.
Michael.
Sorry. So, all right, folks, we're going to get on with the meeting tonight. Before we start, do any comments from the council? John, you have anything?
Yeah, Mayor, I'll echo those sentiments. I mean, Frank, the D'Esposito family, they were phenomenal. Obviously, everybody knows somebody who worked for him, for sure, my brothers included, so very sad. But on a happy note, today is my mother's 85th birthday, so I'd like to wish Mom a happy 85th. She made it. through a lot the last 6 months.
Yep.
So happy birthday, Ma.
Happy birthday, Mary Ann.
Happy
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
What a trooper.
Marge, anything?
Just wanted to note that there is a drop-in ballot box in front of Town Hall now for the upcoming November election. And I know ballots are being mailed out October 5th from the county clerk.
And Vin, will there be a polling place here?
There will be.
Just here, this will,
There's going to be 4 polling places. It's
Okay.
going to be here at Town Hall,
right?
St. George Greek Orthodox Church,
Okay.
Church on the Hill, and the Park Avenue Rec Center. You will get a mailing from the Monmouth County Clerk that will let you know where you go and vote, because we have merged and combined some districts. So just pay attention to any mailings you get regarding the election.
Okay.
And we'll put updates periodically on the township website regarding elections and polling locations.
Can you just make it clear that you can only go to the polling location to fill out a provisional ballot?
I was
You
going to
can't
ask that
vote.
next.
Well,
What can you do here?
You c-
when the only people that are allowed to come to a polling location and vote by a machine is someone who is a handicapped voter, someone who is not able to fill out a paper ballot. If you come to the polling place and you have a paper ballot, a mail-in ballot in your hand, you can deliver it. You can drop it off at the box in front of Town Hall, or if you want to hand deliver it to someone, you need to wait online and you need to sign the voting book. If you want to just drop it off in the box, you can just drop it off in the box. If you come in and you're adamant that you must vote, okay, and you're not a handicapped individual, you are only allowed to vote by paper provisional ballot, which is quite honestly no different than the mail-in ballot, other than doing it in person. You're still going to hand it to a poll worker, and there's going to be a bag that they're going to put them in, and then we return them back to the county that night. So again, all this information periodically
Will be-
placed on the township website. You can call the township clerk's office at 732-531-5000, extension 3321 or 3322. If you're not sure if you're a registered voter, we have the ability to look that up also. So again, we'll try to give you as much information. Any questions, just give us a call.
Can I
And
just
then
try, I'm sorry, Mayor.
Usual hours then?
6 a.m. to 8 p.m., the polls will be open.
Okay. And so there will be the ability to vote by machine if you are handicapped or you have,
Only if you're handicapped.
Okay, you have
Only
a
if you're
medical,
handicapped. No other
pass
way.
to do
If
so.
you come to a polling location, and you're not handicapped, and you don't have a mail-in ballot, or you have not received a mail-in ballot, you can only vote by provisional ballot.
okay.
Just as an FYI, in addition to the phone number, monmouthcountyvotes.com, you can also get all that information.
That's where we're getting the information, same place.
Okay. That clears that
Let
up.
me just clear one other thing
Go ahead,
that
please.
Councilwoman
Yep.
Donlin said. Just so you know, we do have the ballot box for the mail-in ballots in front of Town Hall. It will not be opened. It's not opened yet. It's still locked. It won't be opened until a couple days after the mail-in ballots are mailed out to the voters. Okay, they're going to be emptied out by a representative from each political party every day. They will be the only ones that have the keys. No one in the Township of Ocean, myself included, will have keys to those boxes.
I hear there's going to be a camera on it.
There is a camera 24 hours a day on that box.
Okay. Security.
shenanigans.
No shenanigans. All right. We preserve the
Integrity of the election.
integrity of the election. Dave, anything for us tonight?
Yes, so tonight we had a swearing-in ceremony for 4 new police officers, and 3 officers were promoted. Just want to wish them all congratulations and welcome to the township. And I also want to wish my friends of the Jewish faith a Happy New Year and a healthy one. Thank
That's
you.
today.
Yep.
Thank you.
Good, thank you.
Chamber of Commerce meeting tomorrow morning, 8 o'clock. Marty, we'll see you there.
Marty. Well, thank God it's remote, so I don't have to actually get dressed up for it.
You wear the suit without the pants.
Anybody else? Marty?
Yeah, I have a couple of things, Happy birthday, Mary Ann. Condolences to the Esposito family. And also a very sad couple of days with the passing of I think, American hero and legal giant Ruth Bader Ginsburg. And Happy New Year. Pooh, that's a lot of stuff. But in addition, I wanted to talk a little bit about Route 35 and Deal Road, because there's been a lot of misinformation, lack of information about that, so I just wanted to correct some information. We had an appeal from two of our citizens of our zoning ordinance, and they sued the township and the planning board claiming various violations in the rezoning of the property. That case was dismissed by the trial court on July 26, 2018. As they had a right to, an appeal was filed. I just want to make it clear, because I read something different in the paper back then that got me upset. There was no judge or anyone else who reviewed the appeal to say it had merit. That's not done. Everybody has a right to file an appeal from the law division decision. We then just got a decision September 4th from the appellate division. The case was argued back on January 23rd, 2020, and the appellate court found that both the planning board and the Township Council acted properly. Just quoting from the case, the court said, "In this case, we find no violation by the planning board." They further say, "We are satisfied plaintiffs have not presented sufficient grounds to overcome the ordinance's presumption of validity. We agree with the trial court that the ordinance was not arbitrary, capricious, or unreasonable." And then later say, "We agree that the trial court did not err by finding that the council was not arbitrary, capricious, or unreasonable in concluding that the ordinance substantially complied with the master plan, the 2000 reexamination, and the 2005 zoning amendment." So that case regarding the zoning ordinance at this point is over. In addition, there have been issues raised by one member of the public regarding trees and how many trees were being taken down and being replaced, and the number that kept coming up was 38 trees was all the applicant was replacing. In fact, at the meeting on March 10th, at the very end of the meeting, which this individual was at, that issue was raised at that time, and at the end of the meeting, I indicated that no, in fact, the amount being paid by the applicant was $221,500, and that was at $350 per tree. I didn't do the math at the time, but I said that's a lot more than 38 trees, and in fact, it's 633 trees that are being paid for, replaced, or planted elsewhere by the applicant. So I wanted to clear that up. Another statement that has been made in the past that hopefully has been clarified is that when you leave this proposed site, you cannot make a left turn and go down Deal Road, that all traffic is going to go down Logan Road. In fact, the plans, which have never really changed except for a location of the jug handle, but all of the plans indicate that when you come out at Logan Road, there'll be a traffic light, and you can make a left turn onto Deal Road, a right turn onto Deal Road, or go straight onto Logan Road. And then the other exit out of the shopping center, not really an exit, it was the urban jug handle, and that from that exit, you can only turn right onto Deal Road. But once again, you can make a left turn onto Deal Road, and that has always been the plan. There was other statements saying that the planning board rushed through their determination, and I just want to make it clear that the planning board had 12 hearings, and frankly, I don't know how anyone can conclude that they then rushed through a determination. The other issue that has been raised is that the applicant had not received his DEP permits. In fact, all of the DEP permits had been obtained. And in fact, at this point, while some of them had conditions that were really irrelevant to the tree clearing that they did, those conditions, I believe, have been satisfied. And then finally, and probably most importantly, was the claim that the council has ignored the concerns of the community. And frankly, that's the one that upsets me the most, because I think this council and the predecessor council took every step they could to deal with the concerns of the community. And when it came to the clearing of trees, that's why it was delayed for several months. That's why the applicant was obligated to provide for a reforestation bond, and frankly, I think the council has acted more than appropriately, in fact excellently, in making sure the concerns of the public were addressed. That's it.
Thank you, Marty. Mike, you have anything?
I have no comment.
Okay. Anybody from the public have anything that's as to the consent agenda or resolutions that appear on the agenda? Now will be the time to state your name and address for the record. Anybody? No? Okay. So tonight we have minutes for the...
May,
Yes?
excuse me. Am I able to comment to Mr. Arbus now
Nope,
about
not
some of the
yet.
statements
Not
he
now.
made? Or
No.
that,
Now, that
Later.
reserve all comments not germane to resolutions that appear on the agenda for the end of the meeting. Okay?
Okay.
It's not an occasion for public hearing on an ordinance or all questions related to the agenda should be asked during the public comments portion at the end of the meeting. Okay, so anybody on the resolutions or? No? Okay. Someone please offer minutes for the September 10th, 2020 workshop.
I'll offer the minutes.
Second?
I'll second.
Deputy Mayor Napolitani.
Yes.
Councilmember Achara.
Yes.
Donlin.
Yes.
Fisher.
Yes.
And Mayor Siciliano.
Yes. We'll also have resolutions 2162 through 2166. Someone please offer.
I'll offer.
Second?
I'll second.
Deputy Mayor Napolitani.
Yes.
Councilmembers Achara.
Yes.
Donlin.
Yes.
Fisher.
Yes.
And Mayor Siciliano.
Yes, no vouchers tonight. For individual action, we have 2167, authorize the tax collector to cancel real estate taxes for Block 3, Lot 12.01, due to being declared an exempt property. Someone please offer.
I'll offer.
Second?
I'll second.
Deputy Mayor Napolitani.
Yes.
Councilmembers Achara.
Yes.
Donlin.
Sorry, yes.
Fisher.
Yes.
And Mayor Siciliano.
Yes, you only get one vote, Marge.
She's voting for two.
2168, authorize the tax collector to issue refunds to the following taxpayers due to overpayment of taxes. Block 3, Lot 12.01, in the amount of $17,621.08, and Block 66, Lot 11, in the amount of $2,400. Someone please offer.
I'll offer.
Second?
I'll second.
Deputy Mayor Napolitani.
Yes.
Councilmembers Achara.
Yes.
Donlin.
Yes.
Fisher.
Yes.
And Mayor Siciliano.
Yes, and 2169, award a professional service contract to Appraisal System, Inc. to perform the commercial and residential inspections for added assessments at a cost not to exceed $1,500. Someone please offer.
I'll offer.
Second?
Second.
Deputy Mayor Napolitani.
Yes.
Councilmembers Achara.
Yes.
Donlin.
Yes.
Fisher.
Yes.
And Mayor Siciliano.
Yes, and tonight for adoption, we have ordinance number 2343. Ben, would you read the title, please?
Sure. An ordinance amending and supplementing ordinance 2311 entitled Personnel Policies, Practices, and Procedures for the Township of Ocean.
Someone please open a public hearing on ordinance 2343.
I'd like to move to open the public hearing on ordinance 2343.
Second?
I'll second.
Deputy Mayor Napolitani.
Yes.
Councilmembers Achara.
Yes.
Donlin.
Yes.
Fisher.
Yes.
And Mayor Siciliano.
Yes, anybody have anything they'd like to add from the public? Comments on ordinance 2343? Now would be the time to say your name and address for the record.
Jackie Wenzel, 610 Deal Road. Could you explain what this ordinance is? I'm not familiar with it.
Yes, Vinny has it right here. We had put this out last week for introduction.
You want me to do it?
You got it?
Yeah, Mike, want to go over it? in a
Yeah,
little
this
more
just
detail?
lays out the schedule of benefits that employees get, be it health benefits, dental benefits, prescription, insurance, that type of thing.
Did you hear that?
Okay, yes.
Okay.
Thank you. Yep.
Okay. So seeing or hearing no one else on 2343, close the public hearing on ordinance 2343.
I'd like to make a motion to close the public hearing on ordinance 2343.
Second?
Second.
Deputy Mayor Napolitani.
Yes.
Councilmembers Achara.
Yes.
Donlin.
Yes.
Fisher.
Yes.
And Mayor Siciliano.
Yes. Action, please, on ordinance 2343.
I'd like to move to adopt ordinance 2343 and publish according to law.
Second?
Second.
Deputy Mayor Napolitani.
Yes.
Councilmembers Achara.
Yes.
Donlin.
Yes.
Fisher.
Yes.
And Mayor Siciliano.
Yes. At this time, I'd like to open up the public hearing for anybody who has anything germane to Ocean Township business. Please state your name and address for the record. Be mindful, we still limit our comments at the end to 5 minutes to give other folks an opportunity. So anybody has anything, please log in, take yourself off mute, and we'll hear your question or your concern. Hello? This is a time for public comments, folks. This is the end of the meeting. So-
Okay.
Okay. Just wanna
I
make
didn't
sure-
That
want
was your cue,
to
Jackie.
hog the time or anything, so I thought I'd give some other people a chance to talk. No, I guess one of the statements that Mr. Arbus made about the taking of the trees and all the DEP permits, I actually received a phone call from Diane Dow about, at the time when the trees were coming down, about them not having all of their permits. So that wasn't something I just created some kind of stir. And I was told to call the hotline and have them go over. And I did, and I called the hotline. They have a tree hotline. So has that been resolved? Because at that time, they were missing their environmental preservation restriction plan, which is a plan, I guess, that regardless of how the land may change, perhaps the current owner may decide to not develop what they're developing and move on. A new developer, a new owner cannot come in and develop a certain amount of land that's preserved for all time, till the end of time. It can never be developed. And that was missing. Do you know if that was settled yet?
Well, here's what I can tell you, Jackie. When you mentioned in an email that you spoke to someone at the
Diane Dow.
Well, you didn't
Yes.
say that. And in fact, I wrote back to you and I asked, who did you speak with? And I copied your previous attorney and I got no response. So I don't
believe I ever received that, Marty. Why would I not respond to you?
I have no idea. But all I know is I wrote an email to you and to Mr. Gal, the attorney, and said, who did you speak with? And I got no response. Maybe you didn't read my email, maybe you didn't get it, I don't know. All I can tell you is I wrote to you. I am told, and was told back then, that they had all of their permits, that the only thing open were conditions that had nothing to do with the area they cleared, but had to do with about well less than a 1 acre piece, not near where they cleared, that wouldn't be impacted. And I am told that those conditions have been satisfied at the present time.
Marty,
Yes.
Jim Krimko is on the line. Can I jump in and clarify it? I represent the developer.
Sure.
Okay. Very simply, there were conditions of approval that still needed to be met. The permits were in hand.
Back
Those
off,
conditions of...
Jen, 3 inches from the mic, please.
Oh, I'm sorry.
A little back.
Can you hear me better now?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, you're a
Okay.
little too close, I think.
Oh, okay. Those conditions of approval were relative to deed restrictions and other, not a plan, there was a restriction for certain areas, and it was required relative to the protected areas or the regulated areas. The clearing that was done was in an acre up near Deal Road, which was outside any of the regulated areas. That was not required to be done at that time. However, since then, we have since recorded all necessary permits, recorded all necessary conservation easements, and got authority from the DEP in writing that the placement of any fencing relative to the protection of those areas could wait until such time as we disturb those areas. Because in order to put in the silt fencing that's required prior to construction, we would have to take down additional trees to get there. So we are 100% in full compliance with every aspect of the DEP approvals. And to correct you, the conservation easement was recorded in Ms. Perpetual. However, a future developer, if this developer determines not to go forward, a future developer could file an application with the DEP and could seek an amended approval, which could amend that conservation restriction. So to say that it's forever and can't ever be developed is not true. And the DEP could certainly authorize a change to that restriction or release that restriction.
But these are restrictions surrounding the wetland area, the fragile wetland area, so I can't imagine that they would ever be able to be changed.
Jackie, I'm not going to dare jump into your imagination.
Don't jump, excuse me.
You said you can't imagine. You made a statement.
No, I'm sorry.
One at a time, please.
Diane,
Within a fact that wasn't factual.
don't talk to me about imagination and try and discredit me.
Jackie.
That's not true.
Jackie.
Statement of fact.
All right, stop. Everybody stop. The way this is gonna work, Jackie, be quiet. Jen, quiet down. Both of you stop. The way this works is when one person's talking, you wait for them to finish. When they finish, then you speak. So I believe Jen was talking. If you're done, then Jackie can talk. Jen, anything
I
further?
wasn't done. What I
Well,
was,
she said it was my imagination. I can't sit here and have her.
Well, you're gonna have to sit there because we can't hear you both at the same time. So that's the way it works.
You have a chance.
Jen, it's your chance to
Again,
talk.
to correct the record, I did not accuse anything of being in Ms. Wenzel's imagination. She had interrupted me and said, "I imagine." And what I said was, I'm not going to attempt to get into your imagination. I am going to give you the facts. And the facts are that it is perpetual until such time as the DEP authorizes a change to it. So I was correcting a statement from Ms. Wenzel when she said that that land is protected forever until the end of time. No, it's protected until the DEP releases it and/or provides a new approval for it.
Well, it was explained to me from Diane Dow that the importance of this environmental preservation restriction plan is a protection of land for all that the developer would be taking away from our environment and our community, that there is a certain amount of land that is preserved for all time, as it was explained. But I would like to clarify that with Diane Dow now. I will call her this week and find out where it stands right now and make sure I have it in writing and read it to you at the next meeting, or maybe send you a copy of it. But she had phoned me because I had been reaching out to her for some time. We got very upset when we saw the trees coming down because should the developer, if all of their plans aren't, solidified in the end of this whole process, and they do move on, we would like to see something that is more green. So maybe if another owner takes over, they'll want something that they build within a forest versus clear cutting the entire land. So it seems irresponsible and irrespectful to the neighborhood to just go in there and plow down trees because you could.
That is why we required them to provide a reforestation bond. But while we're talking, Jackie, one of the other things which I didn't bring up initially, which somebody brought to my attention. I don't go on any of the sites on the internet, but someone sent me a copy of a statement that you made where you said, the developer cannot begin to build until all lawsuits are settled in the legal system. And right now, as far as I know, there's only one lawsuit, but what is that based on? Because you don't have a stay. The developer can build, he can clear, he can build. However, if he does so, he does it at his own risk, which means if somehow the law is...
Serious, you're saying if the plans are not approved in the end, if it's not valid, he's able to go in and develop and then take it down? That makes absolutely no sense.
Well, it may make no sense, but the law is that you have, and we've discussed this with you as well, so you've been told this before, because we got into an issue about it. The law is that the objector, in this case, you, can...
No, Marty, just to correct, Ms. Wenzel is not a party to the litigation pending before the courts.
I don't want to call it a point of order, but how about a point of personal privilege? This portion of the meeting is not intended for debate. Person gets 5 minutes, the next person gets 5 minutes, the next person gets 5 minutes. It's not a back and forth. So can we ask the people to have their 5 minutes, the next person says their 5, and then we're done?
Okay. Jackie, go ahead. Anything further?
I mean, I don't really, I'm not sure this is the right venue to have such a discussion.
Right.
If the developer's attorney, I mean, Jennifer, are you actually charging for tonight's meeting?
Okay, so you don't have to answer that,
Jackie, she made a statement. That was that. Do you have anything to add, Jackie?
Is it official business? I'm just curious. Since we're working with attorneys, I'd like to know because
Jackie, the question needs to come to the council. You're not here to ask Ms. Krimko questions.
So what do you have germane to Ocean Township, Jackie, we can help you with?
Well, obviously, we were very excited because there was, when the press got out that we do have another lawsuit pending. The majority of people are very excited about an opportunity to protect that land. The people that live on Logan Road, when Mr. Arbus stated that there isn't a left turn, a right turn, they probably are happy that there's a left turn, but regardless, the main entrance exit, or at least what sounds like one of the main exits, is going to be Logan Road, where the residents on Logan are going to experience a very different traffic flow in their neighborhood than they've had before. So there are a lot of residents that really, not everyone comes to the meetings, not everyone looks online to know when they are. Sometimes I feel like, the township should reach out in other ways to the neighbors to kind of engage them in a way where they know what's going on. We haven't seen a plan of the roadway. Everyone, like the public hasn't seen it. Maybe you could put that on the site in some way where they can see how the plan looks today. There have been changes in some of the things that I had quoted about the roads. When I said a left, if you all remember, and you can look at the tape, I kept asking, is that true? I wasn't clear on it because there were so many meetings and there were different exits coming out of the site. So I was asking everyone if they could clarify, and that particular evening, no one was able to clarify. So then, of course, everyone tried to throw me under the bus, saying she doesn't know what she's talking about, but I was simply asking, and no one could clarify.
No, you were stating that it was not
I was
able to do
stating
that.
that is it true what I understood? Is that true? And no one could say, no, it's not true. They weren't
No,
sure.
we were.
So,
No, I think anyway, like
Anyway,
I said, go down to
this-
the
I
planning
wanna
department
argue-
and take a
I
look at the
want-
plans on
we
file.
just-
They haven't changed
What I
that much.
just want people to know is that the majority of the residents of Ocean Township do not want to see the last bit of forest on Route 35 in Monmouth County to be plowed down for a majority
Okay,
of
but we
what
had
the
a,
plan
we had a
looks like.
planning board case, we've had a vote on it, we've had everything about that, so we understand that. So maybe there's still people that don't want it, and there's people that do, but we're past that point now. What's your other, what else do you have to offer?
I'm sorry, Mayor, what point are we past now?
We're past the point of whether or not the majority of people want it or not. We took a vote, we've had hearings on it, we've had copious hearings on it for years. And we had lawsuits that determined they had the right to build it, Jackie. So yeah, I don't want it built either. I've said that 100 times. But there is a lawsuit, they prevailed, now they have the right, and we shaped it to something that's consistent with the highway. And so it's gonna happen, and I'm still trying to preserve some of it. So,
Listen,
I don't know what
Mayor.
more, I mean, you wanna keep hashing this one issue over and over. I
No,
don't know why.
I want the people to understand what happened. Yes, we were not remanded back to court from the appellate judge. We didn't think we would have enough money to personally pay for an attorney. So the first time my husband went pro se, we went in both pro se. We didn't understand the law. We've never gone to court before. So some of our paperwork wasn't absolutely perfect, and that hurt us in the end. It wasn't that the zoning and the spot zoning and the inconsistency with the master plan was not a valid point. It was. It's just that, and it was so much so that our attorney, Mr. Dennis Galvin, he had accepted our case because he read the zoning and felt it had merit. He would not have taken the case without that. And
But you lost.
Well, and
So-
you paid him, so
Yeah,
you took the
right.
case.
what was that? What was that money?
But the case was tried twice, and
Yeah,
twice, we
Ju-
put- the town
Just to make
prevailed.
it clear,
It wasn't tried twice.
excuse me.
The first time,
Yes, it was.
Mr. Arbus made
This
a
was an
motion.
appeal that you
The
lost.
first time, Mr. Arbus made a motion to dismiss our case, and he knew.
We're not gonna
obviously,
retry the case, Jackie, right now. We're not retrying it.
We didn't have the,
So-
we didn't have the political connections
Okay.
to be able to
Nobody had
override Mr.
political
Arbus
connections to
making
make-
a motion to dismiss our case. It was dismissed. And it's very hard for we, the people, to be heard unless you come up with the money to have an attorney. And now we have, we've made some of our own personal sacrifices to do that. We have raised over $14,000. And every time the press goes up and every time an article goes up that we actually have a chance to preserve it, more money comes in. And you'll never believe this, but it's true, and I wish I could put it up. Someone from France even sent us $50 today because of the environment and because of the planet and global warming. So this isn't just an Ocean Township
I sent
issue.
$50 to Fur Peace Ranch last week, because I liked what they were
You can
doing
get into your
in
little,
Ohio.
clubby ways
live in Ocean.
there, but outside of this little club that makes fun of me and wants to discredit me, this little club is a small little town, but there's a big world out there that's watching,
Okay,
okay? And they're
Thank
not
you.
happy about it.
good, very good. Anybody else have anything tonight they wish to share with us?
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, if Ms. Wenzel's done and I can have my opportunity to speak, it's Jennifer Krimko. Just a couple of points of clarification. The first one is as was recognized by Mr. Galvin's letter to the court, the developer, as a matter of law, is entitled to proceed at its own risk. That is the law. And again, there's nothing that would preclude us from moving forward while the case is pending, as long as a stay is not in place. And I just want to clarify for the record, because this is the most important part. Ms. Wenzel is not a party to the lawsuit that is currently pending before the Superior Court. Otherwise, I would not speak with her directly. She would be represented by counsel. The only plaintiff in the suit before the Superior Court of New Jersey is Peter Youngkins. So again, there's a lot of where she's not represented by counsel. I'm not inappropriately speaking to someone represented by counsel. That's all I wanted to clarify.
Thank you. All right. Anybody else out there that hasn't been heard from yet have anything they wish to discuss with the council? Take yourself off mute and state your name and address for the record. Well, seeing and hearing no one, we're going to make a motion to close the public, to close the meeting, to adjourn.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Mayor, can I just ask you something before we close?
Sure.
How do you feel about the land right now and
I told
protecting
you,
it?
Jackie.
How do you feel
I
about
think-
it? No, personally, people want to know.
Personally,
and
I still want
explain
to,
why.
I want to preserve it. You're asking me, let me talk.
Because you represent yourself as an environmentalist. You've loved this town. Everyone knows you've loved this town, and you grew up here, and you walk those woods, as you said. You make it. You lead us to believe that there was this sort of non-objective point of view at the planning board meeting, because that's, council approved it. The zoning, as Ms. Krimko said over and over, her client complied with the ordinance 2303. However, the planning board, am I correct in saying this? Is the planning board specifically appointed by you, or is there a voting process that takes place that puts each member of the planning board in their seat on the planning board? How are they given that opportunity to sit as a planning board member? How does that work?
The planning board members all submit applications to our, what we call talent pool online, okay? And then from there, we collectively will take the mayor and council, all right, review the applications, and then we'll decide, who seems to have the best fit, who's been in the pool the longest, because it's just really, it's a volunteer board. So these
Right, I
folks sit
understand
there.
that they hold
But
a
you know
very
what?
big-
We go into this with the utmost integrity. We're not doing it to try to manipulate a board or try to manipulate a vote. No one said, hey, I'm going to appoint these people because one day somebody's going to want to build on Deal in 35, and this may behoove us. Nobody's done that. Some of these members have been there long before I was mayor. All right, Mr. Good's been 37 years, and others have been there. Tom Means, before I got there, was 40 years. So these people have been around. They've been on the boards, and these are people from the community that wish to serve the community, and they too have integrity, and they're not manipulated by myself or coerced by myself or any other council member. They sit up there, they make their own decisions based on information they gather at each meeting, and if it makes sense to them and it complies, and they use the old principle of the benefit outweighs the detriment and such, and therefore, they use all those tools available to them to render a decision. And that's exactly what happens at each and every meeting. But you're not giving them any credit. You're really insulting these people, thinking that they're manipulated by this board, by the mayor and council. And that's an insult to not only me, the other council members, but to those good people that serve and give their time to the community. I think it's an
I'm not taking
insult.
their commitment away. I'm just asking a simple question, Mayor. Who
I answered it.
actually makes the final decision of who gets to sit
I
on the
answered
planning?
that. I answered that at every meeting. The mayor and council appoint those boards. It's our appointment.
This is the third time you've asked the question. This
what's
is
the
the
next
third
question?
time you've asked the question. You've answered it. You've been over 5 minutes.
Stop
Mr.
bullying
Mayor.
me, Mr. Arbus, please. I'm not done. I'm
Well,
speaking.
you're well over your 5 minutes, I can tell you that.
I know, but I know, but this is important. Because
everything you say is
people call me, and I don't know how to answer these questions, so I want to have clarity. So people say to me, well, it was quite known that the mayor wanted this to go through because on many public meetings, when you questioned him, they said, he said, "Oh, put a lawsuit to bed, one that I mentioned it." And you said it in a friendly, jovial way, the way you always do, which is very nice and friendly. But what makes people feel is why, if I was put on the planning board by you, if I was graced that honor, and I knew you really wanted something because you've said it publicly and it's going to get you off a lawsuit that's been going on, then why would I go against it if it seemed like an okay plan and all right? Like I saw, one of the people on the planning board, she even hesitated for a minute and went like, okay, like she looked like she was struggling with it. And I feel like there was a bit of kind of, I asked you so many meetings, why don't you come to the planning board meetings, Mr. Mayor, because residents have so many important things to say as to why this is going to impact their community. Flooding, I mean, I almost cried tonight. The woman.
Jackie, all that has been vetted out at the meeting. We're not going to go back over flooding, traffic, light, pollution, all that.
I'm up.
Here's the thing. You asked me a question. Let me answer the question. Now, I'm going to mute you because I'm going to answer the question you asked, was how do I feel about this project? And what I've said all along since 2004, and the reason there was a lawsuit was because my feelings got in the way of it. And my feelings were that I wanted to preserve that property. Okay? I went as far as trying to do a referendum. Okay? That got shot down. Went as far as rezoning, then we got sued. Okay? And then went as far as trying to make land swaps. On and on. I think I've said it over and over that I am not in favor of anything being developed. Nonetheless, these folks won the right to develop their land, and that's what they're doing. And so what we try to do thereafter is make it the best possible situation that we can have. What do you do? Well, we try to trim down. There was 498 apartments that were originally proposed there. There's not now. Now it's down to 70, and I might try to get that in half to 30, 32. There was 150,000 square feet of buildings going on there. Now it's down to about 70. All right, there was going to be 95% impervious coverage. Now it's down to about 48. So all these things, how do I feel about it? I worked very hard trying to reduce and minimize the impact of that once I know that they won their lawsuit. It wasn't about, oh, well, it's going to resolve a lawsuit. Be that as it may. It did or it didn't. I fought it. I put it out there, and you jumped on it later. All right, so you kind of rode on the coattails of me starting this, of Save the 32 Acres. All right, but I think it was my initiative. You could look in all the newspapers. I have articles, I have pictures of me standing out there. So my feeling's still the same today, but I'm a pragmatist. And I'm looking at, well, if we're not going to get the, lemon cake, let's make lemonades. And this is what we're trying to do here. And so I think it's the best possible situation. And I think people know my position. I think you're trying to put in their head that, my position was, let's just push this through. That is not it. And so
I'm not
this is
trying to
what we're
put that in
doing.
anyone's head.
Yeah.
People ask me things that, and I can't answer them. I'm not exactly
Right.
sure. And
Okay,
then,
but
Excuse me,
Jackie, we say this every meeting. Do you have anything
I'm
new?
just answering the mayor, Arbus, 1 second.
No, I want to say one thing, just so you understand it.
No,
Just
let
so,
me finish.
Jackie,
wait a
just so
minute.
you understand this. The mayor, if he wanted to, has a seat on the planning board. He could be a member of the planning board if he wanted to. If he wanted to influence it the way you think he did, he could have just said, I'm going to sit on the planning board.
People have said, Marty, don't put it all on me. It's what questions that come to me through neighbors.
They say.
They said you kept asking the mayor to come to the meeting. It's interesting. He only came to the last one to put pressure on them. This is what people think. I mean, don't shoot the messenger. I'm just telling you what people
All right,
say.
so
to me.
we've heard you,
Okay.
and I think it's pretty much the same thing you say every meeting. Do you have anything new, Jackie?
Anything new?
No, okay. So
No,
I
now
think-
you have me, you're putting me on the spot here. Doesn't anyone else
well,
have anything to say?
that's
How
a
about
rhetorical
Oh,
question.
I do have something else to say. Yes, I do. We were just on the news.
But I think you've
Yes,
exceeded your 5 minutes.
That was on the jug handle. I do have something very important to say. We got off on
Okay.
some of that old subject because Ms. Krenko threw me off with.
I
I went back to that case. So what I wanted to talk about was the arrest on the jug handle recently, and the signs from the state that say no trespassing, because residents that rely on public transportation now are very confused. They don't know how to get to the bus stop. If they can't walk on that property to get to their crossing signal that takes them to the bus shelter, how do they get there?
Yeah, they
if
can
don't
walk and they
step on
can
that-
cross that property. They can't recreate on it. They can't plant gardens on it,
say that-
and they can't do anything of the such. So, but if you want, shoot me an
Say no
email and I'll
gardening, if
get
that's-
the answers
If that's
for
the
you.
issue, it should say no gardening here, or
Okay.
no
I'll
parties
make
here,
note of
no
that. I'll
loitering.
recommend
Maybe
that to
no-
them. Sounds
Maybe
good.
no loitering, but
Okay.
no, just, it says state property, no, and everyone saw like 4
Okay.
policemen wrestle a guy to the ground because he was on that property.
Yeah, I
So
wasn't
nobody
there.
wants to get wrestled to the ground when they're on their way to work if they have to take a bus.
Right.
So
I don't think that's
we
gonna
need
happen,
to-
but
yeah,
I'll talk to
you know,
them
the
about
last-
that. Sounds
all
good.
right, the last time we spoke, you told me about, safety, like I asked, isn't there someone that takes care of and really looks at all the safety issues in our town? Like someone you can call that says, yeah, I really care, I'll look into that for you. And then you forwarded me to Officer Krug, who was great, he helped me. I called him about, my concerns about the sidewalk, about the pedestrian crossing signal that tells you to go at the same time the traffic's going. And basically, he said, really, until someone gets hit, there's really nothing we can do, but he'd look into it. He was very nice, and, he told me what the facts are and how quickly that could get changed. But the point is, he then sent me to the DOT, and I made those phone calls. I still would like to say to you, and I know it probably won't happen while you're in office, because I don't think maybe you would do this, but I still think there's an important role for someone in the council to take care of public safety, where people can call them and they would actually call the DOT and they would do the legwork instead of me.
We
And I
have
would
to
be
change our
happy to
form
do
of
it.
government for something like that, Jackie.
Hmm?
We don't have that form of government. I hear what you're saying. And there are other forms of government that one's in charge of recreation, somebody's safety, police, and fire. What we don't. We're a Faulkner Act manager council type. So the manager is the apex of all the employees, and he's the top employee of the town. And he sees to it that we have departments such as for garbage, recreation, safety, which is police. So we have all that under that structure there. Okay. So
Well, I
it's
had
not that it won't
called
happen
Mr.
under my
Costello a couple
as mayor.
times
it's just-
about, because if they can't go on the jug handle, which has people nervous now.
They
If they
can.
try and go up on the north side of Deal Road, where, right around the corner of the said development, since Burke came in with their truck and taken some of the trees, they have these big barrels in the driveway. So when you're trying to walk, Mr. Masello kept saying, well, the DOT will take care of that, but they really haven't. So when you try and walk on that north side of Deal Road, you are forced to step into Deal Road to get back to that bus stop again. So we're really not making it easy for people that, are struggling anyway. If they have to take public transportation, life isn't easy. Now we're making it harder for them.
We'll
'cause
look
they
into
have
make sure they have
dangerous
easier
bus
access
stop.
there in that corner, so nobody's stepping into the street.
Yes,
take a look at it.
there's no way to walk on the driveway, Chris, try it. If you
Okay.
park your car in the library and try and walk to the bus stop, and then we'll talk about it, because it is very difficult. There's
All right.
high grass, and then the barrels are right in the
Right.
driveway, so in order to go around the barrels, you can't go to the right of them because there's fencing, that mesh fence, and if you go to the left of them, you're in Deal Road. And you're in Deal Road close to where the intersection is. It's
Okay.
very dangerous,
Thank you.
okay?
All right.
Thank you.
Anybody else out there have anything they wish to share at the council? I don't see anybody else unmuting.
Make a motion.
No one please make a motion to
I'll make a
adjourn the
motion to
meeting?
adjourn.
Second?
Second.
Deputy Mayor Napolitani.
Yes.
Council members Achara.
Yes.
Donlin.
Yes.
Fisher.
Yes.
And Mayor Silsiano.
Yes, meeting adjourned. Thank you all for joining us, and you can see us on YouTube later on. Have a good night, everybody.
Good night.
Where did the Polycom equipment come from?
All right.